Welcome to the Pulse of Spokane. Join us for the latest in news, views, and conversation with community leaders. The Pulse of Spokane is brought to you in part by Breakthrough Incorporated and Homes for You. Now, put your finger on the Pulse of Spokane.
Welcome to the Pulse of Spokane. Kent Adams here. Hope you're having a really good day. Our snow is over, but it'll start again. Just you can count on that right now. I'd like to be one of those weather people who gets paid no matter whether I'm telling the truth or not. Hey, we've got a really fun and good program today, an interesting program. Todd Mielke is here from GSI, and Todd's always keeping us up abreast of what's going on in the business community, some of the changing things and so forth, because we've got a very vibrant business community here in the Spokane area. Scott O'Brien from O'Brien Logistics. What is that? Well, it's kind of a trucking company, but we'll get into it and find out what he's doing. And then Tara Weir. Did I say it right, Tara? From Powerful Connections will be here to talk about her consulting company. Next on the Pulse of Spokane.
Good afternoon, Spokane. Today we have a high of 33 degrees with a chance of snow coming down on Tuesday and Friday. It will be mostly cloudy as we progress through the week. At nighttime, we are going to see the temperatures drop down to the teens with some snow coming down on Monday and Tuesday. It's going to be a bit cloudy today over in Coeur d'Alene with a high of 33 and a low of 17, and some light snow in the valley with a high of 34 and a low of 17.
This is River Ridge Frame Shop, called Frame It Today, where we can take your art, customize it, and get it ready to hang on the wall. Here at River Ridge Hardware, 2803 West Garland.
Welcome to a new kind of talk show, Spokane Talks, where you find news, views, and conversations that include respect for opinions, facts, and diversity.
Spokane Talks, Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Fox 28.
Well, hello there, Internet. My name is Braden Magruder, and I'm just coming out of the Spokane Talks building, and I'm excited to bring to you guys a new announcement that I am going to be the new host of the Youth Spotlight program. Now, our old host, Colin, he's off to Texas Christian University to pursue a degree in theater and broadcasting, and you know what? That's great for him, but that's what I like to call adulting. And you know, I don't think that we have time for adulting with the Youth Spotlight program. What the Youth Spotlight program is here to do is to bring to you guys news, the greatest news of some of the most amazing people here throughout Spokane that are, just going in high school, maybe about to go into college, you know. These people are achieving life's dreams and they are so young. And I think that these are stories that you guys should know about. And I'm so excited to be bringing them to you. Now, I'm a Spokane native myself. I've been performing throughout Spokane in various different shows. I just closed the show of Music Man, and you know, I guess I like long walks on the beach, keeping my business attire, while also keeping my French fry socks on close at hand. You know, it's going to be a great year, and I'm so excited to be your guys' host. So tune into Youth Spotlight to watch me interview some of the most amazing people. Thank you and have a great day.
Well, welcome to today's edition of the Pulse of Spokane. And as I mentioned earlier, we're pleased to have every month Todd Mielke, who is the CEO. Did I get that? Everyone has a little different title. You know?
I know. President,
chairman, executive vice president. I mean, all of that. I'm never quite sure what to call people. Well, I do, but I can't say that on air. I'm just kidding. Todd Mielke, you have been involved in this community in a number of capacities over the last couple of decades, matter of fact.
Yes.
Gosh, you're old. No,
I know. Some days I really feel like it, too.
Especially when you're here. But you feel young when you're here because the contrast of,
there we
of
go.
age. Okay.
There we go.
Hey, a lot of things going on, and one of them is are addressing the opioid crisis here in our area.
Right.
And something's coming up on that. What is that?
Absolutely. Next week. So Wednesday, February 27th.
Okay.
That's a breakfast meeting, 7:30 to 9:30.
Okay.
It's at the Davenport Grand Hotel. We're doing our annual healthcare forum.
Okay.
And what we try to do is highlight
programs that are related to healthcare that really are impacting the local business community.
I was going to say, and it does, doesn't it?
Right.
Yes.
So whether we're talking about the industry, we certainly recognize that healthcare and life science is about 20% of our economy. But the other one is, how do healthcare issues affect the employer community that we have in this region?
Right.
And so what we're finding is more and more people are unfortunately becoming addicted to opioids.
Yeah.
And it's not somebody that you think has had a typical profile, somebody who's had strong addiction
It can happen
problems.
to anybody.
It can.
And that's part of the issue, isn't it?
Absolutely. And so, perhaps starts with pain management that gets out of control, but it's becoming a common occurrence in our workplace.
Yes.
It's infiltrating the workplace.
Yeah.
And a lot of business owners and managers are trying to understand how to work with it.
Yeah.
How do they deal with it in the workplace? How do they be supportive to those employees? Often many of them really good employees that have had this challenge.
But they've gotten addicted, and it's affecting their works, and it's probably affecting family and everything else.
Correct.
Other than absenteeism and so forth, how does it affect the businesses? What are you hearing?
Well, I think the other things is, is it affecting performance?
Okay.
It's not only the absenteeism, but is it really productivity?
Yeah.
And then the other one is, does it create additional liability for the employer?
Okay.
Based on what's going on in the workplace.
Right.
So those are all the issues that we're hoping to address. Again, it's next Wednesday. For people interested, go to the Greater Spokane Incorporated website, take a look at our events section, and look for the Healthcare Forum. Register. But great information coming up next Wednesday.
Okay. And speaking of healthcare, there are other things happening in the healthcare area here too, right?
Yes. Again, we continue to take a look at what's going on in the health industry, whether it's which companies are expanding. We've got legislation trying to address the nursing shortage that we have not just in this area but throughout the nation, and then. Also taking a look at another issue that we have coming. We just recently hosted the State of the City address with the Mayor Condon.
Yes.
We also have coming up on Friday, March 8th, the State of the County. And I know a lot of people, having been a former county commissioner, don't understand the role of counties. But essentially, if you live anywhere in Spokane County, including inside any of the cities,
you're still in the county.
You're still in the county.
Yes,
and so the entire criminal justice system is overseen by the county. They are the extension of the state.
Right.
All of our property tax system. We have parks. We have transportation systems, public health.
Yes.
All of those things. The sheriff, is an officer of the county. And so all of those things are happening under their authority.
Okay.
So we want an update on what they're seeing. What are the pressures that they're seeing?
Who's going to be doing that?
So this year it is Mary Cuney. Commissioner Mary Cuney is the chair of the Board of County Commissioners this year.
Okay.
So again, that's coming up on Friday, March 8th.
Okay. And again, how can people sign up for that?
Come to the Greater Spokane Incorporated website, take a look at our events.
Oh, you're making it too easy.
And GSI, and take a look at the State of the County Forum.
Right. Coming up in April, you have something going on too. Some kind of a trip?
Yes, we do. So April 9th through 11th.
Okay.
So one of the things, we've talked about this in the past. What are the focuses that we do on behalf of business development in this region? One of those is greater voice on behalf of the business community and the community overall. We advocate at the federal level and at the state level.
Right.
We completed our trip to Olympia, our annual fly-in to Olympia. We had nearly 100 people on that trip. One of the biggest attendances of any community that goes to Olympia.
And sometimes we forget about this because this is really an important role for GSI, both at the state level. I mean, we know about the local, you go to city council, you go to county commissioners and all that, but we forget the state level and the federal level. And most of us in small business can't take that kind of time and or money to fly over and go down to Olympia and spend the day or more there and so forth. And so you're there representing us.
We are. And we do try to make it a compacted trip so that those that can say, I can break away for 2 days.
You wear out the legislators, don't you?
We do. So for those that say, I can break away for 2 days, but I don't have time to put all the meetings together and all that, we do that for them. So they're meeting with committee chairmen. Of both the House and the Senate. They're looking at the top issues that impact business, and those are, could be in the education area. They could be in capital projects.
Or just
could
plain
be about
taxes.
Business regulation and taxes.
Yes.
And so it's important. Legislators don't always want to hear from me. They want to hear from the people who actually own the businesses and are doing the work.
Well, you're kind of the spokesman, so you're going to say what is kind of expected from the legislative side.
Correct.
But when you bring along the guys and gals who are running and owning their own businesses and trying to get by.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that makes a difference, doesn't it?
So we did our state trip,
Okay.
Our Olympia fly-in recently. Like I say, large crowd, great set of meetings. But we now do our annual
Okay.
federal meeting, and that's the one coming up in April.
Okay.
A great time in Washington D.C. April 9th through the
Cherry
11th.
blossoms out.
It is warmer weather, and of course for those of us who might be getting a little tired of the white.
You want to
stuff
go
on the
now,
ground,
is what you.
looking for a little warmer weather and some sunshine. So, but it is a great time to be in the state capitol.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking about trade negotiations with Mexico and with Canada.
Right.
Right now, we're finalizing that agenda. Looks like we'll be at the Pentagon meeting with the Deputy Secretary of the Air Force, White House visit with top staff there. And
How many go on this?
Typically about 60.
Really, that
Yeah.
many from Spokane?
Yeah, so
That's terrific.
So we go over and like I say, get updates from not only our delegation,
Right.
but other key updates from policy directors within the different
Right,
agencies.
right.
So those are important things that we do.
Is there more optimism now when you go and do that with the economy getting better and more jobs and everything than maybe a few years ago?
Absolutely. But the thing is sometimes people become complacent when times
Yeah.
are good.
Yes.
They're like, I don't
Yes.
know, things are good. I don't need
Yeah.
to go. And then what happens is when things go bad, they're in a panic.
And then they're in a catch-up state.
Well, we're trying to lay the groundwork now when things are good, and some of those decisions are a little bit easier for elected officials.
Because we know there are always the ups and downs.
Correct.
That's
Correct.
a pure fact, and that's not going to change, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And being
So-
prepared for it is important.
So we're doing this trip,
Good.
And we typically also incorporate a visit with one of our embassies. We've got a
Okay.
couple in play right now, but one of them that's kind of interesting is, and we usually base it based on trade partners with
Okay,
Washington
sure.
State.
That would make
So our
sense.
biggest trade partners are our first priorities to go there. We've been to the Japanese embassy.
Okay.
We've been to Ireland.
Yes.
We were looking at Mexico, one of our largest trade partners, but weren't able to secure that. So we're also looking at England.
Oh,
and
okay.
so right now we're right in the midst of Brexit.
Okay,
And the whole
yes.
discussions about what happens with trade in Europe as some of the wealthier partners in the European Union, like England,
Yes.
are starting to pull back a little bit. And so what's the impact on that for some of those poorer countries, financially poor countries?
Suggest you not remind them of the Revolutionary War.
No.
Okay, that might not be appropriate.
They're kind of having their own right now. So, but it is interesting to see what happens, as as countries that have struggled, like Greece, financially, economically, what that means for those that stay in the European Union.
Yes, yes.
When some of the wealthier countries are contemplating
It's going to be a
pulling
major
out.
change.
So,
yeah.
and the world is getting to be a smaller place.
Yes.
So what happens in major segments, major parts of the world does impact us.
Yeah. What's the cost to do that?
The trip?
The trip, yes.
Oh, you would ask me that.
Oh, you don't know. Okay,
I
so
don't have that off the top of my head.
It's worth the investment, is
Absolutely
what you're
it
going to
is.
say, right?
Absolutely it
Okay,
is.
and how can people sign up for that? My guess is you're going to say your website.
Yes, go to the Greater
Oh my
Spokane
gosh,
Incorporated website.
you're consistent.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and look for events,
Right.
and we have the DC fly-in.
And speaking of the website and,
Yes.
and the programs, you continue to have a spring edition of the Business After School going on
We do.
right now, right?
Yeah, and this is a great program. So this
It
is
is.
all part of connecting what we call career-connected education.
Right.
Career-connected learning. And what we're trying to do is get kids thinking about possible careers, because it does adjust what classes they're going to take in middle school
Yes.
and in high school.
Yes.
So what we try to do is we try to expose them to work environments so they can start thinking about what would it look like to be an
And that's a
engineer
great time to
or a
start
nurse.
exploring.
Right.
Yes.
So what we do is we have this program called Business After School.
Right.
We have challenged ourselves to double the participation.
Uh-oh.
We partner with all 13 school districts in the region.
Yes.
Business After School. We try to do about 30 to 40 off-site businesses.
Yeah,
or
and we did it
enterprises.
last fall,
Yes.
so it was good.
Per school year.
Yes.
And we typically in the past have drawn about 300 to 400 students. And again, we're trying to double that number.
Oh, boy.
And we look at major industry sectors.
Yes.
So it might be healthcare, it might be government, it might be engineering, you name it. And we try to get different businesses to be able to host those. They do. They bring all their employees in to,
Yes.
to answer any question the kids
Yes.
might have. And it might be what's the most difficult part of your job, what's the easiest, what's the worst part, how much do you get paid, all that.
Right, right.
And so those employees work through all that, trying to encourage kids to take on their profession.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we've had a number of them. We had one out at Wagstaff Engineering.
Yes.
Typically, we get about 30 students. This year, we got over 80 students.
Oh, wow.
And 30 adults, 20 educators.
Wow.
So full house.
Yes.
Caterpillar does one. They've got their own curriculum. So this is a very robust system. We've launched our spring series now.
Yes.
And so so we have one later this afternoon.
Oh, wow.
In fact.
Well, that's
And
fun.
so-
I think
so it's
that's
good
great
stuff.
because we need to be talking to our young people and have them experience different avenues for jobs and so forth. They may find that, oh, that's not what I thought it was in real life. You know? And that's
past-
part of the learning.
Yes. Well, in the past, what's happened is kids will finish their K through 12 system, they'll graduate, and then they'll start thinking about their career. Right. And so oftentimes they go into a couple of years of maybe just indecision.
Yes.
Well, we as a community are judged on our talent based on how many people complete something beyond a high school diploma.
Yes, yes.
So we want to get them not only to the high school diploma, but we want them to think about life after the high school diploma.
And so sitting on mom and dad's a basement couch doesn't count,
no.
does it? No.
So, and it's in the trades, it's in the, it's
Yeah.
2-year certificates, 4-year degrees, and the earlier we get them thinking about it, the better off we are.
Yeah, absolutely. Todd, great stuff. You guys
betcha.
are really swinging it through.
We are. We
All
are.
right.
In fact, tomorrow we've got another company looking at Spokane.
All right.
So we're competing against Boise and Phoenix and all that, but we're going to
We'll
put our
win.
best. We're going to
We'll
put our
win.
best foot forward.
That's all we can
and
ask.
talk about what
That's
a
all
great
we can
community we
ask.
have.
Todd Mielke from GSI, thank you for all you do. And I say you, not just you, but
I've got a
your
great team.
your staff and your board and your committees,
And a
because
lot of
it's
partners.
the committee
Yes.
committees that really make the difference, don't they?
And a lot of other organizations that we partner with as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Scott O'Brien with O'Brien Logistics right after this.
They say it takes a community to raise a family. It also takes one to build a business. I came to Spokane 12 years ago as a Whitworth student, and I planned to leave after graduation. But the more I got to know this community, the more I wanted to become a part of it. My husband and I have built our business in Spokane, and now we're raising our family here too. We operate a consulting company that provides creative business development strategies. Our approach is holistic and dependent on intentional connections and relationships. And no one understands connections and relationships better than GSI. They direct momentum towards investments in our community, provide resources that help business leaders connect, and they're dedicated and passionate about making Spokane great. GSI gives me the confidence to build my business here because they believe every organization, even a small one like mine, adds big value to our community. With GSI's help, Spokane will be a place my son will want to build his career too. I'm Eva Marquette, owner of Freshview. We're creating something greater with Greater Spokane Incorporated.
Hi, this is Kurt Stockwell with Well Dressed Walrus. We are a local website design and development company here in Spokane. What we do is build beautiful, usable websites for local businesses. A website needs to be beautiful, it needs to be usable for your users, your customers, and yourself. Contact us anytime. We'd love to talk with you about your online marketing.
What? You haven't been to the library lately? Stop in today and see that the library is more than books. Spokane County Library District facilities feature on-site technology, including Wi-Fi, computers, and printers, as well as free use of meeting rooms. The Library District offers events and programs for all ages, from story times to career development and employer classes to Social Security workshops. Our staff is well trained and happy to help. Find out more about your library at scld.org.
Well, welcome back to the Pulse of Spokane. Kent Adams here. It's the 20th of February. We're a week away from the last day of this month, and we'll probably have a little more snow just because Leslie Lowe and Blake and others just keep bringing the snow in. It's their fault. So call KHQ and tell them you'd like some warmer weather, okay? Scott O'Brien from O'Brien Logistics, welcome aboard. How are you?
Good, kid.
By the way,
Good
I'm
to
going to
see you.
do a little plug. You're going to be one of our sponsors for Business Talks.
That's correct.
Yeah, good to have you on board.
Thank you.
And, okay, logistics, O'Brien Logistics. When I first saw that, I'm going, I have no idea what that is. So let's do a little education on what it is you do.
Well, logistics is just a cliche that they've come up with over the past few years. It's
Right.
just a bucket of all sorts of transportation in there. It used to
Okay.
be point A to point B, but we've added logistics to the end because now you include international shipping, small package shipping,
Right.
truckload shipping, flatbed. What we do is we just have some smaller versions of Dodge trucks pulling 24-foot flatbeds compared to the big semis.
Yeah.
And of course, the weight limits are lower.
Right.
And we're providing a niche service where we can go into these cities downtown, into the tight spots where the semis can't go.
Right.
And then if a shipper has something that's too small for a big truck, they
Right.
can call us, and the rates are better. And
Wow.
And
Now, you have a background in this business. Talk a little briefly about how many years you've been in.
over
been
32 years.
Over
in
32 years.
logistics, yeah.
So you started about age 8?
Close.
Do I get any bonus
Close.
points for that?
Yeah,
Okay,
you do. So here's one right here. But no, I always was interested in ships and trains
Okay.
and trucks, and so I joined the service, the Navy, and
Okay.
I traveled the world with that.
Oh, fun.
And then when I got out of the service, I couldn't really find work, so I figured if I wanted to be in logistics, the best way is to drive trucks. So I
Okay.
did drive over the road,
Okay.
all 48 states for
Oh, wow.
7.5 years.
You didn't drive to Alaska and to
Not
Hawaii?
quite Alaska yet, but wanted to one time.
Yeah.
And then worked for a big, large trucking company,
right.
and I did that fleet management and that for several years.
Okay.
And then was
And you
hired by
learned
the paper mill.
some things from working for the big guy, didn't you?
Mhm.
What were some of the things that you learned that you've now implemented? Because I was impressed by some of these things.
Technology and
Yeah.
processes.
Yeah.
If you look at some of the processes, the first thing that usually comes to mind is job loss for somebody that's working in there.
Yeah.
Which that's not really the case. Processes can actually create efficiencies to where that person can do more work. So we've implemented a lot of technology with federal and state levels going with more technology into vehicles and
Right.
monitoring and tracking. We've implemented that as a first-year business.
And one of the things, and I kind of got a kick out of this because we all know this as small business people, that one of the things I don't like about running a small business is cash flow.
That's correct.
Yeah, I mean, we all face this. I don't care, but if you're a multi-million-dollar business and so forth, you've got the bank loans and
Right.
everything else to take care of that. But we smaller guys kind of have to foot the bill ourselves,
correct.
right? And so one of the things that I found very interesting with you is that you really have, through the technology aspect, a way to bill your clients immediately that even some of the big guys weren't doing.
That's correct.
And that's really kind of helped you, hasn't it?
Yeah, cash flow is everything. And
Yeah.
in fact, I had a boss that used to say cash flow is king.
Yes.
And so as soon as we deliver, we can provide a POD. We call it a POD, which is a proof of delivery.
Yes.
Showing that it delivered, so we can immediately send that out from the driver's phone, and then we can bill out within minutes of that being received. And net
what
30
kind
is
of what kind of a difference has that made?
huge difference. Our receivables are around 30 days.
Really?
And
And
if it hits
what's
30
kind of the industry standard though? It's more than that.
30 to 45 days.
Okay.
Some have reached out to 60 to 120.
Yeah, but 15 to 30 days faster makes a world of difference,
world of
doesn't
difference,
it?
yep.
Yeah, because you're not having to borrow and pay interest on money and those kinds of things. Or if you do, it's not as much, in terms of the
and
amount.
we have to fuel our trucks every day, so we're watching the fuel.
Oh gosh,
So, yep.
yes. One of the things I found interesting, and I'm finding this with a lot of smaller businesses, a plumber fellow we had in the other day and some others, and that's finding good workers today, the shortage, because there was a period of time for the last, I'm going to say 15 to 20 years, that everything was, you got to have a college degree, and you got to go get into debt for $100,000 to $200,000 so you could
Correct.
start off at $60,000 or $70,000 and work your way up. But the trades, the logistics and so forth are hurting because of that. We can't build homes fast enough. Look what's going on in Spokane. We need to build more homes and housing, right? And you talk with some of the big builders, and their answer to me is, Kent, I would build more and build faster if I had experienced tradespeople to do it.
That's
I can't
correct.
find them because the people we bring in don't have the skill yet, and we have to redo. There's no profit in that.
That's right.
So what are you experiencing?
It's the same experience in the trucking industry, from the big trucks down to us, is a lack of drivers. Well, why? And people that don't want to come into the industry or even work in the industry, you don't need a degree to do it. I don't have a degree. It just takes passion and a desire to do what's right. Fortunately, we have a good team. Our people is what makes O'Brien Logistics and why we've been successful in our first year of business.
Right. You're doing something too. You know, we're in a position now where almost everything seems to be delivered to us at work or now at home.
That's correct.
There's a little company out there called Amazon. They seem to ship everything, right? They'll soon drop it on our front porch or whatever.
With a drone. Yeah.
And I think they even put it in your house in some cases. But welcome to today. Are you seeing that impact what you're doing too with home deliveries and so forth?
That's called the final mile delivery.
Okay.
And almost every major retailer has that.
Yeah.
They've reached out to some other third parties to hire people to do that. We haven't focused so much on that. We'll do the larger 2-people packages where you bring it in a lawnmower or something like that.
Okay.
But the day-to-day packages, we're not interested in that yet because it's not profitable for us, and it just tears up your equipment.
Yeah.
So,
what's on the horizon for O'Brien Logistics? Where are you going, and where is the industry going?
The industry, I think, is struggling right now to figure out how can we bring this industry together.
Okay.
So companies are not going bankrupt because of technology, because of federal and state laws and taxes and that. I think the industry is really starting to bind together to figure out how can we make some of this efficient.
Yes.
And then as far as the drivers, there's been every analogy and every theory out there. But I'll tell you, in our own organization, we have no frustrations with anything with our drivers except dealing with, again, the gray area between the federal and the state officers. And so we're going to deal with that hurdle. We're going to go overboard with compliance, so we're not being bothered anymore. But I see the future for shippers. It's going to get expensive for them because of all the technology we have to buy and the compliance. It's getting costly. And then, of course, tires, fuel filters, all that's petroleum
the fuel,
products.
I imagine, thank goodness fuel is down a bit.
It's down.
But you know what's going to happen. It's going to go back up. It's just like the economy, up and down and so forth. Well, great. This is fun. How can people get in touch with you?
They can go to our website, o'brienlogistics.net, or they can reach out to us at 208-305-2311. We are 24/7.
Okay.
We have drivers that can...
Do you sleep with that phone?
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of,
we take turns, but we also have partners around the country and around the globe that we can reach out to if you need anything from China to India, and we can bring it in.
Okay.
And then,
so it's just not local or regional deliveries; it's international that you can handle. Correct. They can start with you,
yes,
or finish with you if it's coming from somewhere else too, right?
Yep.
Wow.
And if you have something that's urgent, a mill's down or a piece is down, you can give us a call and we can see what we can do to run it for you.
Wow. Where's the need in terms of more drivers? Are you going to be looking for more drivers at some point?
We will be looking for more drivers. I think right now, and when I say we're going to be looking for drivers, we don't want to just hire a driver. We want to hire a person that wants a career, that will begin driving, understand the system, and then we want to be able to nurture them.
Because as the company grows, there are more opportunities for them too.
Yeah, and we want to bring in some young people and show them that there is a career in logistics. It's fun. It's passionate, and it's a lot of...
And you don't have to pay downtown parking or whatever,
that's
right?
Yeah. Unless you're in a truck and you just throw your four-ways on.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, it's and we're very liberal with our drivers' time off. We want our employees to be with their families.
Are they happy people?
Very.
Good.
And that's why I think we're successful, is because our people...
That really makes a difference. It really makes a difference. We're very lucky here. We've got great people, and that does make a difference because they've all bought into what we're doing and keep coming up with great ideas. And I can only bless all of them for doing that. Well, Scott, thank you. Congratulations on all you're doing, and we're going to see your spots and everything on Business Talks. And in fact, I think Ryan's going to be inviting you on that program coming up in March too. So all right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the Pulse of Spokane right after this.
Yep.
The economy is getting stronger, banks are lending again, and interest rates are at historic lows. Now is a great time to buy your dream home. The caring and knowledgeable professionals at Homes for You have been helping people just like you for over 20 years. They take the time to listen to what you want and will help you find just the right home in Washington or Idaho. Real estate is what we do at Homes for You, 928-5782, or visit online at homes4uspokane.com.
Welcome to a new kind of talk show, Spokane Talks, where you find news, views, and conversations that include respect for opinions, facts, and diversity.
Spokane Talks, Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Fox 28.
I really like the shower.
It's nice, isn't it? Yeah. Take your time.
Custom lighting in the kitchen.
I'm into it.
To help you be safe, Washington state law requires you to call 811 2 full business days before you plan, for example, to dig, drill, plow, pull from, or pound anything into the ground. Be prepared to provide the operator with the correct address, cross street, and the description of your work. You must mark the dig area with white paint. The operator will inform you of the utilities notified of your impending excavation. Wait for all their marks. Be safe and dig with care.
Welcome to a new kind of talk show, Spokane Talks, where you find news, views, and conversations that include respect for opinions, facts, and diversity.
Spokane Talks, Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Fox 28.
Well, welcome back. It's the 20th of February. Here we keep going. A snowy time out there. At least the snow. It's cold enough to keep the snow on the ground for a while. Tara Weir. Did I get it right?
Perfect.
All right.
Nice job.
I won't say it again because I will mess it up. From Powerful Connections is here. How are you today?
I'm wonderful.
All right.
Yes.
Why are you wonderful?
Because I love talking about my passion and my mission.
And your passion and mission is what?
Is helping businesses create healthy culture through communication skills, strategies, training, coaching, developing leaders, and really the communication, the culture or the climate of a company can make or break a company.
Yes.
It can make or break a person's experience at work. We work so much of our lives that really having a happy work place, a place where people can come and trust and be heard and understand each other.
That is so true. I'm thinking of a friend of mine who told me his buddy is just a little younger than I am. I'm 72, so he's about the point of retiring in his late 60s. And he told my friend Tom, you know, he took over his dad's CPA firm. And he said, I have not enjoyed it any of the years I've worked. I made a nice living, but I didn't enjoy it. How sad that is, because we do spend so much of our time working, obviously with family and everything else too, but we're at 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours if you count the driving time and everything else, work-related items and so forth. And we've got to feel like our bosses and our coworkers are going to listen to us and that they want our input, that we want to show up and do the best we can and so forth. And so Yeah, if we don't have those employees to start with, we're not going to be successful with the public out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's true.
So what do you do to help create that with businesses? And you've got some named companies in town that you've been working with. Who are some of them that you can say out loud?
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
Washington Trust Bank is my largest client. I've been working with them for about 3.5, almost 4 years.
Wow, okay.
And I work with them on really developing their leaders, developing their presentation skills, helping them in really clarifying their message.
Yes.
A lot of it is building confidence and really helping them articulate what it is they're wanting to create, and then helping get people on board. That helps them get their teams on board.
Right.
So, and I work with BECU as well.
Okay, great.
So, and then a lot of little smaller companies as well that really are ready for their team to really be high performers, because ultimately a healthy culture is going to attract and retain those top talent folks, right? And then having them there and helping them get the skills that it takes to really communicate their message. So a lot of the things that I focus on are listening skills and sharing your message, how to organize your thoughts.
Right.
Things such as, how am I showing up at the table? Am I voicing my ideas? Am I listening well? And emotional intelligence, which is a real buzzword these days, but it really is so crucial to people connecting, is being able to manage and be aware in my own emotions, my own thoughts and feelings, and those kinds of things. And then also being able to be open and aware and manage yours or anybody I'm working with.
And it's not just within the business and with other employees, it's with the public as well, right?
Oh, it's both, for sure.
I think back to about 30-some years ago when I was at Water Power, which is now Avista, and we were training engineers and accountants to go out. Yeah, I know. You know where I'm going. To go out and speak with the public who had a concern about rates and everything else. And the number one thing we had to really work on was the language.
Yes.
Because quit using the terms that only the other engineer understands.
Right.
Talk in language that the public can then relate to, because you're not going to be relatable out there.
And
talking about kilowatt hours and all that,
right.
and people are going,
what?
Yeah, exactly.
And ultimately, and the reason I named my business Powerful Connections now is because I'm not going to be able to connect with you if you don't understand me.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to be able to inspire you. I'm not going to be able to motivate you. And that's really so crucial. And really, I think that happy, or content workers, content teams, and that kind of thing can interact with their customers more positively. So,
have you found yourself specializing a little bit, like with women and so forth?
I have. I have, as far as the particular, I've been studying for a long time the particular gender differences between how we communicate, how do we show up, how do we handle conflict, how do we avoid conflict.
Ask for some things here, but yeah.
Well, it's really interesting, just the cool science that's behind behavior and communication. And so I know that the science also shows that not only are businesses' bottom lines better when more women are in leadership, there is a direct correlation to that for the reasons of emotional intelligence and communication skills and nurture and relational. So those are some of the things. But also, what's really interesting is LinkedIn's 2019 talent report just came out. And what companies are looking for are the soft skills. The kinds of things that we're talking about, which is about communication, collaboration, creativity. How are we interacting with each other?
If you're an accountant or CPA, you may know how to add up the numbers, but how do you communicate and share that?
Exactly. Exactly. And ultimately, that's what really brings connection between people and real satisfaction at work, is being able to understand each other and not just talk above or around.
Yes. Okay, so how can people find out more about what you do and get in touch with you?
Great. LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. It's a great place,
Yes.
great place for businesses. So my name, Tara Weir, Tarawear in LinkedIn. But I'm also, my website is powerfulconnectionsnow.com.
Okay.
So my goal is to really, and I really want to focus, particularly these days, on Spokane.
Okay.
I have a real desire to help this community.
Right,
This
right.
is my home. I've been here for a long time, and I want to interview people now, and then I want to interview people in 2 years from now, and I want to have the numbers of work satisfaction go
Yes,
up because
yes.
they're really communicating with
Yes,
each other.
Yes,
That's
and
my
that's
goal.
good for everybody, for
Yes.
sales, for the company, for the individual, and everybody.
The health of our community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you having fun?
I'm having a ball.
Yeah, I knew the answer, but just based on your attitude and everything. But I wanted to ask the question.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you
Really
very much.
appreciate it, Kent.
It's great, and good luck with all you're doing. Okay.
Thank you so much.
We're gonna take a break until next week at 12 o'clock right here on the Pulse of Spokane. Hey everybody, have a great week.
The Pulse of Spokane is produced in Spokane, Washington by Spokane Talks Media, which is solely responsible for its content. The Pulse of Spokane is brought to you in part by Breakthrough Incorporated and Homes for You. Ask a question, recommend a guest, and hear this program again online anytime at SpokaneTalksMedia.com. We wish you a great day.